Hi and welcome to another video from AI Sciences. In this video, we are going to see that how we can do gesture-based hand painting using OpenCV. So from my side, I'm your instructor Muhammad Ahmad from AI Sciences, and in this video, we are going to see that how we can use hand gesture to paint on the screen, paint on the image, and we will be using MediaPipe. We will be discussing the flow, that how we will be doing this complete thing, and then we will surely do some hands-on or try to implement the script for that. If you are new to our channel, then just a brief introduction of the AI Sciences. At the platform of AI Sciences, we are providing a lot of services regarding artificial intelligence and data science, including courses, including consultancies and on-demand software development, product development and whatnot. If you are interested in any of this, then do visit the link present in the description. So let's just begin. If we go for the PyCharm, for writing the Python code, I'm using the PyCharm IDE. If you have any other preference, you can go for that as well. So I already have a folder open gesture. Let me just create a file inside that and make it hand drawing. Now what we will do, that here you can get this link of the MediaPipe library. So basically MediaPipe library is a Google based library. It is developed and maintained by the Google. And in this library, they have captured a number of, I don't have the exact count, it's numerous, that they have maintained the images of all the hands of random people, of random postures, and then they have trained their machine learning models to figure out that if they get a new image of the hand, so the MediaPipe library will be able to detect all these points from any given hand. So it will detect that where the wrist is, where the thumb is starting, where the middle of the thumb is, where the end of the thumb. Same for the index finger, second finger, third finger, and the fourth finger. So it will detect all the points available on that hand, and we usually refer that points as landmarks. Now what we will do, we will try to initially create this setup using MediaPipe, and we will try to get these landmarks in our code. Then we will try to figure it out that how we can go for the index finger and this middle finger, and we will try to draw that using the index finger. So what we are going to do, that if only the index finger is up in this entire hand, then it will start drawing, and if both the the first and the second finger is up, it will just simply stop drawing and you can freely move around on the canvas. So for that, we will be using different techniques to detect that whether the index finger is up or not, or whether the middle finger is up or not. We will see all this in the code. So here we are in the code. The first thing, we have to do some imports. So let's just go for import numpy as np, then import cv2, the OpenCV library, then import MediaPipe as MP, and then last import maths. Now there could be a chance that when you are importing all these, you might get exception for these three. The solution for that is you just need to click on it, press Alt Enter, and over here, instead of getting optimize or imports, you will be getting the import the package or install the package, and you need to just click on it. Same for this one and same for this one as well. And if they are making any issues or you are unable to install it using the mentioned method, you can go for the terminal, and inside that you just need to go for pip install numpy, then pip install OpenCV Python, and for the last one, the MediaPipe. And it will just simply import all the dependencies for you and you will be good to go. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to actually capture the video from the webcam. I'm using my default webcam, and you can actually go for any webcam you have attached on your machine, but still the usual convention is we go for the default webcam. So for reading that, we go for cv2.video capture, Actually, I'm expecting the IntelliSense, but okay, never mind. Let's just write it. Video capture. So inside this video capture, we have to provide the camera number. So 0 is for the default webcam. And then for some of you, if you are using the default webcam, there could be an exception that it is unable to detect it or unable to read data from the webcam. So you have to just change the API using the cap_dshow. Now what it will do, it will just change the APIs for you, and you will be able to get the camera. You will be able to get the images or videos from the camera. So let's just save it inside the variable capture, and then next thing, we have to actually create the solution for the hand. We will go for the MediaPipe library to get the hands analyzer, and then we will be using that further. So let's just do that first. And again, if any of this thing is not making sense to you, or you are confused at any point, then please don't hesitate, or don't just fear about anything. When we will start using all this stuff, then eventually all these things will making sense to you, that why we need this and why we are referring to this. So MP hands, and we will go for referring this MediaPipe library. We will go for the solutions, and inside the solutions, we need to get the hands. Then we go for MP draw, and this will help us to draw on the hand. So when you will show your hand to the webcam, the computer can detect it, and the code can actually proceed with that. But it's usually a nice practice to draw on the hand, so that we can get the idea that what the computer is actually processing. So we will be using the drawing utils for that. So we go for MP dot solutions dot drawing utils. Okay, next thing is that we have to draw, we have to actually iterate on it in the while true loop, and we just need to display the image, display the captured video on the screen on this UI. So we will go for while true, and then we will be using this cap that we use to capture the video from the webcam, and we will go for .read for making it read the data from the capture point or from the webcam. And it will provide us with two things: the status, that whether it succeeded or not while reading, and it will provide us with the image. Now the only thing we are interested in is this image, and to get this image straight, we will go for cv2.imshow and show. Make sure that you are referring to the correct case, because for some of it they are using the camel case, and some of it they are just using it straight away. So here we have to put some name. So let's just make it hand drawing, and over here we have to provide the image. Now one thing more, if we just draw it straight away, it will provide us with the tilted image, with the inverted image. So if we want to get it the other way around, we have to go for img equals to cv2 dot flip this image. We will provide the image that we need to flip, and the one it will flip it on the x-axis. So if we now just give it a go, and actually before going further, we need to add the key weight. Otherwise it will just simply go on and on reading all this stuff and overwhelming our resources. So we just need to put a wait key over here. So just wait for the one key press, and then it will move further. It's actually not a very big delay. It will hardly be noticeable, but still it's nice to have. It's nice to have it over here. So if we just run that code, and here you can see the hand now. So this is the hand, and I can actually capture that hand using the webcam. Now this was the first step, and next thing is we actually the code is now getting the hand, and we have to write a code to detect this hand. So we don't have to go through any hustle of doing this stuff. The MediaPipe library will do the magic for us. So the first thing we have to do is to convert this image to RGB, and then we will go for processing this hand. It's the convention for converting the image to the RGB channel so that the MediaPipe library can read it and analyze it. So for RGB, we have to go for CV2.cvt color. We need to convert its color channel. And then for the CV2 color, we will provide the image that we want to convert, and we will go for CV2.color_BGR, which is the default color, to RGB. Now what it will do, it will read the data from this image. It will convert this image from BGR color to RGB, from BGR shade to RGB, and then we will get this inside it. Next thing, we have to process this. So for that, we will be going to use this. Okay, we have to create that first. So for this, we will be using the hands, and we just need to process that hands. So here we have MP hands for this one, and we have the drawing utils. And next thing, we have to make it with the hands and MP hands dot hands. Now what this statement will do, this statement will provide us with the analyzer that can look for the image and detect the hands inside that image, and it will return us with all the relative information. So let's just use these hands now. So hands equals to MP hands dot hands, and then let's just use these hands now to use this image RGB to detect the hands inside this image. So we will go for hands, and we will go for process, and inside this process we will provide the image RGB, and then let's just save this inside the variable results equals to this thing. And now what this results will include, that results will include all the landmarks and all the information, all the what actually the coordinates of the hand, what are the coordinates of the fingers, and all that stuff is available inside this results. Now we will see that how we can extract our useful information from this results, and for that we need to just go for results dot multi hand landmarks to get out the landmarks from the hand, and let's just save it inside the variable multi landmarks. Then after getting this multi hand marks, we will just check that if we are getting any hand marks or not, and if we are getting, we want to proceed further with it. So what this statement will do, just a quick overview, that this statement will take the image present that we just converted from the regular image to RGB, and then this image will be converted to RGB, and over here this hands will read this RGB image and provide us with the results. Then we are using these results to go for extracting the multi hand landmarks, and we are getting it inside this variable multi landmarks. Then we are checking that if we are getting any landmarks or not, because if I'm not showing my hand, I won't be getting any landmarks. So if we have to check that whether we are getting any hand inside the image or not, so we are checking this using this check. After doing that, we have to go for writing the hand LMS. So it will work the same way. If we have multiple hands or if we have one hand, it will do it in the same way. So here we will go for multi landmarks, this variable, and what this variable will do, this variable will actually provide it with all the hands present inside the image, and we are iterating on each hand for each iteration. So let's say I have two hands inside this image. This will contain at the root level two hands, and then inside that it will have all those information, that what are the coordinates and all that stuff. Then I'm iterating on it for each hand. So if I have two hands shown in the image, I will be getting the same response as I'm getting for the one hand. So here we have the hand, and right now we will be focusing on only one hand. So this for loop will work only for once. And if you want, you can actually write this statement just like that as well. So hand marks equals to multi-land hand marks, and you can directly refer to the first hand that is available inside this. But still, it's nice practice to use the for loop. Then after getting this hand LMS, we need to just simply go for drawing it. So we will go for MP draw, this drawing utils that we created, and inside this MP draw we will provide the image on which we have to draw. We provide the image on which we have to draw, and then we will provide the hand LMS or the hand landmarks that we have extracted for our hand. And then we will be using this MP hands, and for this we want to get the hand connections. Now what it will do, it will actually display the hand connections for us, and we will be able to visualize it in a much better way. So here we don't need these statements over here. Let's just take it from here and put it all the way in the bottom. And for that we have to go for MP draw, and from the MP draw we need to call the function draw landmarks. Now if we just give it a go, so here you can see that it detected the hand and it is drawing on it. So it's actually very useful that now we can actually see that what the computer is perceiving and what the computer, how the computer will actually work around with that. Now what we will do, we will try to figure for these points, this index finger point, this second point, and we will try to figure out that what's happening, what's the posture of the hand. So let me just close this first. So at this level, we have successfully actually captured the hand and we are drawing on it. Next thing is we have to figure out that here, you can see that we have all these points, and on these points we have that, let's say for the wrist, we have the point 0. For the index finger starting for the top of the tip of the index finger, we have 0.8. For the center, we have 7. That's how actually all these landmarks have been marked. Now what we will do, we will try to iterate on these landmarks and see how we are getting it. So we will go for landmarks in hand LMS and dot this hand LMS that we are referring, because for each iteration it will provide us with each hand, and right now we only have one hand, so we are referring to that, and for that hand we want to get the landmarks, so we will go for landmarks. And actually let's just enumerate on it so that we get the index as well. I just wanted to show you something. So enumerate and then this thing, and let's just go for getting the index and go the landmark. Now if we just print on it, what it will do, it will print us with the ID and it will print us with the landmarks. And for the landmarks, let's just actually, we are good with landmarks right now. Let's just print it that way, and then I will tell you an issue that we face while working with this. So if we just give it a go, and now you will notice that inside these logs you will be getting the ID and you will be getting the landmarks for that hand. Now if I just show my hand and let's just see, just a second. Okay, we are seeing that actually the machine was slow. So now if we again run it, and the reason why we put this statement over here is just because if this statement is not there, it will keeps on iterating, keeps on reading the image continuously, and it will eventually create slow down your machine. Now if we see this over here, and so you can see that we are getting the points, and for each point we are getting their coordinates. So if we go all the way to 0, so we are getting that for the 0th, this is the 0th point, and the moment it captured this image, this was the 0th point, this was the x coordinate, this was the y coordinate, and this was the z. Now this thing over here is actually in coordinate system, and it keeps on repeating for every picture, for every image it captures of my hand. It goes for all the way from 0 to 20, 0 to 20 for all the points, for all the 21 points, and it will display all those points. Now the first thing we have to do, that we have to actually replace these coordinates for the proper pixels, so that when we draw on it or when we do anything with it, we have the perfect coordinates on which we want to draw, and we cannot rely on these XY coordinates. We have to go for the pixel coordinates. So for that, it's quite simple. We go for height, width and channel of the image, current image, and then it will provide us with the height, width and the current channel of the images, and then we need to extract the CX and CY of it. So for that, we will go for writing this landmark that we are printing, and from this landmark we need to get the X, we need to get the Y, and with the X we multiply the width and with the Y we multiply the height, and then it will provide us with the coordinates with respect to the pixels. So let's just make it lmx multiply by w, convert it in integer, and same the comma separated value, set it for integer lm.y and multiply it with height. Now this statement will simply consider the landmarks x point and multiply it with the width of this image. Then it will consider the landmark of the y landmark of this particular point and multiply it with the height of this image, and then it will provide us with the proper coordinates of this image with respect to pixels. Then what we have to do, we actually have to save all these inside the variables. So if we go for writing the hand points, let me just declare our array hand points, and we will save that inside this array. So hand points equals to this empty array, and for each point we will be saving that each point inside this array as let's just save it as a tuple. You can go for the list as well, but still we can go for the tuple. Now what this for loop is doing, this for loop is actually before that, this for loop is actually providing us with the hand that it is detecting. So if there are two hands for the first iteration, it will provide the first hand. For the next iteration, it will provide the second hand. So after getting the hand for the first iteration, we will be getting the first hand. We are just simply iterating on that hand, and for each hand we are looking for the landmarks and for the ID. So for this hand, it will show us that for the 0th we have these landmarks, for the first we have these landmarks, for the second point we have these landmarks, and it goes on and on for that. And after getting this, what we have to do, we just have to save all these points inside the array, inside the list, so that we can access it. So first of all, we are getting this 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And as we are appending this inside this hand point, and after this for loop, if we refer to this hand points and we go for the 0th, we are referring to this point. If we go for the 8, we are referring to tip of the index. And if we go for the 12, so and so forth, it will just simply increase, or it will provide us with all the coordinates. So after getting the images and after getting all the context of all the landmarks of the hand, what we have to do, we have to check that if the index finger and the middle finger is open or not. So as I mentioned earlier, that what we will do, we will check that if the index finger is open, we will allow it to draw, and if both the fingers are open, we will just simply allow it to move around freely without drawing anything. So for that, we can see that if this, we refer to this, that this is the y plane, this complete plane is the y plane, and this plane is the x plane. So here if we check that if this 8, if the y-th coordinate of this 8 is actually greater than the 7, what we can do, we can check that if this one, we can go for this 6. If this 8 is less than this 6th y, that means that the index finger is open. And for this one, we will check that if this 12th y is less than this 10th point y, so that means that the middle finger is open. So let me just write that, and eventually this thing will start making sense to you. Take it one indentation back, because we want to do it after the complete processing of the hands. So for that, we will go for if this hand points We are referring to the hand points, and if I'm referring to the hand point 12, so that means that I'm referring to this point. Now I'm checking that if this hand points 1, and here you can see that the 0 is for their x coordinate and y is for their y coordinate. So when we are referring to y, we are getting their y coordinate. And we have to check that if this is actually less than the coordinates of the y coordinates of 10, here, this one. Now it will detect that if this 12th point is above this 10th point, then that means that this finger is open, and otherwise if this 12th point is below this 10th, we will consider that this image, this finger is closed. So let's just do that first, and for that let's just try write the statements that print both fingers are open, because if the middle finger is open, we don't want to draw it, so let's just make it don't draw. We would just need to go for don't draw here, because we are printing it that if it is inside this, then that means that we don't need to draw because both the fingers are open, and because let's say the index finger is open, the middle finger is open, and for the else we will be checking that if let's just make it else if, and then we have to check that if hand points for 8 1 is less than hand points for the 8, we need to refer to the 6, and for the 8 if we are going to the 6, and if it is less than, then that means that our index finger is basically open and we can just simply draw with it. So let's just print draw. Right now if we just give it a go, so here you can see that if my both the fingers are open, here I'm getting the message at the console that don't draw, and if I only go for one finger, I will be getting the message draw. There are some glitches because of the bad light in the room and there's some detection issues, but still we are getting what we want, and if the light is better and if the camera was better, we will definitely get the better result over here. So here we successfully detected that whether our index finger is open or not, and whether our middle finger is open or not, and then based on that we have decided that whether we want to go for the drawing or we don't want to draw. Next thing is that let's just put some circles over here so that we get that the analogy over here, the visualization over here as well, that whether we are going to draw or not. Let's just comment these statements because we can actually visualize it now. Now, if we go for the cv2.circle, and for the circle, we have to consider this image, and this image, the circle will be drawn on this hand point 8, because this is the point that will consider the drawing. So we need to draw the circle over here. And this is not the drawing circle, this is just the visualization that we are good to draw. So here we need to specify the width, so let's just make it 15, and for the color let's just go for 255 and 0. You can go for any color of your choice, totally depends on you. So what it will do, if we are in don't draw mode, it will just draw the circle on the index finger, but the circle would be hollow. And over here, if we can draw, we will just make it cv2.filled, so it will be filled. So now if we just give it a quick go again, so here you can see detected the hand, and now when I have both the fingers open, this thing is being marked as hollow, this circle is hollow, and if I have only one finger open, okay, this should be cv2. So now let's just run that again. And now if I have only one finger open, now if I only have, let it detect the hand, both fingers open, we are having the hollow circle. And if I only have one finger open, it will just show us with the circle, so that it represents that we can actually draw in it. Next thing, we have to actually now just draw the lines on the image. Now I will be writing a chunk of code first, and then I will explaining that what this chunk is doing. So for that, first of all, we have to actually declare a variable and check that will actually maintain that whether we can draw or not. So up that inside this, let's just declare the variable can draw. And right now let's just make it false. And if we go for the if statement, if we can successfully, if we are in the draw, we can draw, we can just simply can draw, set can draw to true. And otherwise, if we cannot draw, we can set it to false. That's it. Next thing, we need to declare we need to use this variable that we just declared for getting that whether we can whether we are able, or whether we have both the fingers open of the hand, or we just have one finger. And if we have only one finger, this can draw will be true, and we can use this variable to check that whether we can draw or not. So let's just make it if can draw. And if we can draw, what we have to do, we just have to go for cv2 dot circle. We will be drawing circle on the points on which we want to draw. We will be considering the image. Then for the image, we want to draw on the points of this hand, on the points of this index finger of the hand. Then we need to its width to be 15th, and the color should be 255, 255 and 0. You can go for the other colors as well. And then we need to make it filled, cv2 dot filled. Now when we just simply display that, what will happen that initially it will try to draw on the image for this particular iteration. And after drawing it, after getting the drawing for let's say I move bit right, it will draw a line. Then if I go over here again, it will read the data, it will capture the new image, and that drawing on the previous image will be gone. So what we have to do, we actually have to create a canvas on which we can draw, and then we will just simply sync these two images, the image and the canvas together. So for the canvas, because the thing is that over here, this image, when we go all the way up over here, this image is reading data from the camera again, this one. And no matter whatever we do, whenever it will read new data from the image from the camera, all the previous thing that we have done will be gone. So we have to actually go for drawing the image, and we have to actually keep the image as it is, and we will try to draw on the canvas an additional image, and then we will just simply map those together. So for creating the canvas, we need to go for all the way to the top. Don't try to declare it inside this, because otherwise the canvas and the image both will be reinitializing after in every for while true loop, and we won't be getting anything. So we have to declare it over here. So let's just make it image canvas. And for the image canvas, we need to use np, and for the np we need to draw the zeros. And for this, we need to set the coordinates of the image. So I actually figured it out that for my screen, the 500 and 650 is fine. And there will be 3 channels for the color. And then the np dot, I want to initialize this with the unsigned int. So uint 8. So that's how we actually create the empty canvas in using the NumPy. After creating the image canvas, what we have to do, we have to go for here, and instead of only drawing on this image, we will draw on this canvas as well. The same thing, and the only difference would be the canvas. Now there will be two pop-ups if we just run that, and the first one will be the actual image and the second one will be this canvas on which we are drawing. So let's just give it a look. So I want to not only draw on the image only, I want to draw on the image canvas as well. Now if we run that, so we have this one, and let's just take it from here, and where's the second one? So actually it's only displaying the first one, but there is the actual image that we are getting, and this is somewhere over here hidden. And if we just go for the one, and I only have one finger open, and now if I'm moving it, it is actually allowing me to draw. So actually it should be there. Let's just make it name different and make it canvas. Now if we run that, hopefully this will work. Yeah, we are getting this, and it successfully detected the hand. And now if we are just going for the one single index finger, it will start drawing. Yeah. The reason why I'm getting all these glitches is because the system is slow for some obvious reasons, and that's why I'm getting all these glitches. But if you are not running the recorder on your machine and you are just doing it all alone, it will work perfectly fine for you. So this is pretty much it from this video. I hope that you develop the understanding of this. I know that this is kind of tricky one or complex one, but this is really interesting stuff. Still, just play around with this, and if you have any questions, any concerns, any queries, please feel free to let us know in the comment section, and we will try to get back to you on that as soon as possible. Also, please do hit the bell icon and do subscribe to our channel so that you get the notifications of our upcoming videos. So this is pretty much it from this video. I will see you in the next one.